Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, we're going to have to unfortunately talk about the complete mess and the drawdown that I have been sitting in on my Facebook swing trade. Today, we saw the Fed talk about how inflation is no longer transitory and how Jerome Powell said that we need to retire that word. We saw the whole market come down, and of course, Facebook came down with that as well. Facebook broke an uptrend and definitely took a pretty large hit today intraday. Now, I had some December contracts and I had some January contracts. Today, I did go ahead and realize about $123 loss on my December contracts. Now, at one time, I was up over $1,000 on these contracts, so I definitely gave back quite a bit of profits, but I did do some damage control to make sure that my total loss was not that ugly on those Decembers. Now, I am still holding my Januaries, and that is where it gets a little bit uglier. I'll go ahead and show you guys today the current P&L on that position. Facebook in general is a stock that I like. I have conviction in. I think it should continue higher, but it has been having a lot of trouble, has been consolidating, and is definitely causing a little bit of drawdown for me. It's not the largest position I've ever taken. It's a decent size. I think it's right now just about 4 to 5% of my portfolio. About the largest that I like to take, about the largest risk that I like to put on my portfolio at a single time with a single trade. So it is the largest right now. Of course, this play is not going to kill me, but I felt like I needed to go ahead and talk to you guys about it today. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned for more, and make sure to go ahead and check out the morning live streams every single day, guys, from 8 a.m. to around 9 a.m. Eastern. You guys can make sure to press the bell notification so that you know every single time that I go live. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start this out. I'm just going to go ahead and pop up the P&L on my December as well as on my Januaries. You guys are going to see that I took a loss today on my December contracts, a manageable loss, about $120, I believe. And then on the Januaries, I'm down a little bit more, over $1,000 down on those. I still have time. I don't want to give up on them just yet because of the chart that I'm looking at, but I definitely know that these are not looking that great. I understand that Facebook's not looking that good here. The chart's still holding up the level that I wanted to hold up. Of course, my plans was not for it to be consolidating this long. My plan was for it to start to hold up, start to hold the uptrend that I've been looking at, and start to bounce over this 350, 355 area. We're not getting that. We rejected the 100 SMA, and we're starting to look a little bit ugly. So I just wanted to show you guys the P&Ls to get that out of the way. But now let's go ahead and focus on, what I'm looking at here on the chart. Am I just sort of crazy to think that this could hold up? What's going on with the overall market that may just sort of cause this play not to work out? After we go over the technicals, I'll walk through a little bit around the mindset I had behind why I sold my Decembers, why I'm holding on to the Januaries, and just sort of the psychology around this play for me currently. Now, this may be interesting for you guys. It may not be interesting for you guys. I just wanted to go ahead and give you an update. I think it's my duty to give you updates on some of my positions, and Facebook has been one that I've been pretty convicted on, and when something goes wrong, I have to own up to it, right? The technicals are the technicals. I play off technicals. They don't always work out. So I need to own up to if I am wrong about something if it doesn't work out. I can't blame myself. I thought it was a good play. At times, I thought it was a fantastic play. But, there's going to be ups and downs in a position. Right now, it's not looking as good as I once thought, and I'm going to have to take the loss if it really does start to break down. So here we go, guys. Here is Facebook on the daily chart. Now, the first reason I got into Facebook on the daily chart is because it took a pretty nasty drop pre-earnings, just about, I believe it was about a 20% drop. We had pretty decent earnings. We did move down on the earnings, and then I thought, okay, this might be a great opportunity to try to play Facebook back to the upside. We had very nice consolidation here at 325, a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders, and we actually were starting to hold an uptrend here on the daily chart. We had an uptrend starting to form, but we found some very nasty rejection here at the 100 SMA. It also is right back around these previous lows where we had previous support, and then we turned that into resistance, and we turned it into some nasty resistance once again. Now, what you guys can see is that recently we started to lose some steam, and today we did go ahead and lose that uptrend, and we had a very nasty red day to the downside, about a 4% downside day on Facebook, back to around 325. Now, Is this down day today just because of Facebook? I don't believe so. It's definitely because we had some NASDAQ weakness, right? The NASDAQ has been stalling. The NASDAQ has been stuck here around this 16.4. And this news today about inflation potentially being worse and also some of the virus stuff that's coming out, it seems like we're getting to a point where the market's getting a little bit panicked. Now, if a market is getting panicked, if the NASDAQ is getting a little bit questionable up here, in no way is that going to help my Facebook trade, right? For Facebook to work out for me, I'm going to need a fantastic market environment. I'm going to need tech to be pushing new highs. I'm going to need the whole tech sector and everything around it to start being very positive for me to have any hope here that Facebook tries to gain momentum. I don't personally believe that Facebook will be able to move higher by itself if we start to see the tech sector start to cool off and we start to see the NASDAQ get affected by some of the words that the Fed said today. Now, whether the NASDAQ pulls back and whatever happens here is a totally different story, guys. Not really going to touch on that in today's video. If you want to get my opinion on that, you can come to the live streams. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning a little bit more. But if we just focus on Facebook, I'm definitely going to need a strong NASDAQ environment for this play to recover. For the January calls to recover, for us to be able to move over the next 2 months, I'm going to need a strong NASDAQ market. We're going to need to see that December strength into January, and then maybe we get some type of move here. But as of right now, I am not as hopeful as I once was. Today's uptrend breakdown is what caused me to take the loss on the Decembers. I was not down much, right? I was saying, okay, I'm down about $100. This is a loss I'm willing to take to reduce some risk on the portfolio and to get rid of short expiration contracts. The short expiration contracts, I didn't really want to hold any longer. They're about 30 days until expiration, a little bit less, and it's about time that I need to go ahead and start taking those off the table. If I'm about break even on them, and we went ahead and broke this uptrend today, you guys can see this on your charts. I'll go ahead and zoom in. When I started to see this uptrend start to really break down, I said, okay, it might be time for me to ditch these short expirations and just do some damage control and take a small loss on them. Now, the reason I did go ahead and hold my Januaries is because I am still interested in the possibility of this channel holding on Facebook. You guys can see we have held this 325 level quite a bit. We've held it once, twice, 3 times. We had a little bit of a downside move here, but very quickly bought up. We had another hold here, a nice little hold around 326 here, and maybe there's a possibility I can salvage a little bit of a move here off this the bottom of this channel around 325. So that is why I did hold my Januaries, because I have a little bit of extra time and I still have the potential of this technical setup to work out. As long as there is a technical reason for me to hold a trade, I am going to hold on to it. I go into the trade accepting my loss. I'm not going to panic out of it on a day like today. I don't believe in selling on big red days. I just don't think it's logical to panic out of positions, especially when the technicals are still holding up. I am going to be okay to take a loss here on this trade. If it doesn't work out, that is something that I accepted going in, and that is something that I would recommend to anyone out there. Be careful going into positions without accepting the loss, accepting where you're going to get out, accepting the risk that you are putting onto your portfolio. So I'm okay putting this risk on my portfolio. I'm okay allowing Facebook, a little bit more downside to see if it can hold this technical level with some January contracts that have some extra time until expiration. So that's my thought on Facebook. As of right now, guys, it's not looking great, right? I got rid of the Decembers, realized a small loss because I don't think I have enough time on those contracts. And then on the Januaries, I think I have a little bit extra time to see if it can hold this technical level. If it cannot, then we're going to have to cut those as well. But as of right now, the overall market sentiment, I think, is what is affecting Facebook the most. I still believe in the long term that Facebook will recover and be back to all-time highs, but the timing is what is so crucial about option contracts, right? Maybe it's a good time for me to pick up some Facebook shares where I don't need to worry so much about the expiration date. Maybe some leaps, maybe next year, maybe shares, because that expiration date is what is really killing me here about this trade, right? I thought that it would work out a little bit quicker than it did, And the timing of option contracts is really the killer sometimes in some of the trades that we take. You may be right. I may be right. But it may take another 6 months. It may take another 3 months for Facebook to start to really recover here. And I just won't have that time with the January contracts that I have. So that's something I'll have to decide in the future. Do I think that Facebook can come back? Do I need to get a little bit more time? Something that I'll continue to work through. But I will go ahead and share that with you guys here on the channel as well. So make sure to stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoy this update. See a little bit of the psychology behind this play. A really thought out play that just really isn't working. There's really nothing else for me to say, guys. It's just not working out. I can't make excuses. I thought it was going to work out well. It's doing okay. It's not tanking, but it's definitely not doing what I thought. So that's my update today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure to press that like button down below. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for my update for you guys on Facebook. The last few days, the last few weeks have definitely been a good reminder of the importance of risk management. I talked about this in the live stream, and seeing days like we've seen today, seeing days like we saw on Friday is just a humbling experience and another reminder of why we need to make sure we do not put too much risk on our portfolios. Putting too much risk in your portfolio, allowing a day like Friday or a day like today to completely crush your account is just a little bit too risky for me to do. I don't like having that exposure. I don't like knowing that on a single day, if the market does decide to fall, that I can be taken out of the game. I don't like putting myself in that situation. So, I know a lot of people out there may laugh at me for taking losses. And, it is what it is, because that's just what I put myself out here on YouTube, because I'm making videos. Of course, I'm going to take losses as well, guys, just like everyone else. But what I will do, and what I will never experience, is a loss that's going to crush my account, because I just simply do not allow myself to put that risk on my portfolio. So hopefully you guys, if you're trading options, if you're trying to treat this as a real business or as a real trading portfolio, please make sure to never enter a options contract with a large amount of risk that you cannot recover from. Anything larger than about 5 to 7% is where I start to really get uncomfortable. So Facebook, I scaled up a little bit because I had high conviction in it. It may not work out, but this is definitely something that we can recover from. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to come hang out in the live streams, make sure to press the bell notification down below so that you know every single time that I post. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.